Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be some tips that I have for any of you homeschool moms that are disorganized or a little bit spacey. So let's talk about it. I have always been kind of a disorganized person. I just have a really hard time with it. I am very go with the flow. I'm not a planner. I am just not that uptight about having things super organized or all of my ducks in a row. It's just not the kind of person I am. And I found that when I became a homeschool mom, some of that had to change a little bit and I had to kind of grow in that area. So today I wanted to share some tips that I have for other homeschool moms that are just like me in that area that may not find organization to come very naturally. So these are some things that I have learned along my journey and that work really well for helping keep our homeschool running. So tip number one is to have some kind of consistent flow. Now, I have never been a planner person, like writing down things and planning out what we're doing. I have never been a timestamp person. Times of having to have things done by is a big stress factor for me. However, I have realized that consistency is one of the most important things in homeschooling. Consistency is where I see the most growth with what my kids are learning, the most growth and in easier time handling attitudes or any pushback with school, because my kids kind of know roughly what to expect every day and what is expected of them. So I definitely urge you to have a flow, and I use the flow as kind of to keep it a little bit more relaxed into where you don't have to have a written down schedule that you follow to a T, but having kind of a general idea of how the days are going to go is very helpful. So for me, I don't actually use a planner to record anything. However, I do have some planning sheets from the planner that I created, which you can get this planner in my Etsy shop if you're curious. It's just an undated planner, and I just have the week spread and kind of a rough idea of what subjects I want to do each day. I like to spread my subjects out so that we're not kind of doing everything every single day. And I hang this on this bulletin board back here. And then this just helps keep me on track with what marks we need to hit, so that specifically science and history and all those extra kind of subjects aren't missed. Also, as my children get older, especially because now I have a middle schooler, having this kind of helps me because there's definitely more things that she's doing every day. And so trying to keep track of those sometimes can make my brain feel overloaded. So this kind of helps me. Do I stick to this completely 100%? No. Some days I might switch. Oh, I don't really feel like doing science today, even though it's Monday. And maybe I'll do history instead and do science the next day. But roughly, this is kind of what we do. You know, I want to do our Write Shop 3 days a week. So I try to make sure that we're doing that. I want to do our novel study at least 2 to 3 times a week. So I try to make sure that I'm kind of doing that and sticking with that. We do math every day except for Fridays, so 4 days a week. And we do Isla's kindergarten, the letters and numbers. We do that every day. We do reading and math with Emmett every day. And so I just have this kind of flow. So basically my daily flow is wake up. We take our mornings very slow and relaxed. I don't really rush around. I don't start our school day at a specific time every day, but I do have a routine. So basically it's the same flow. You know, I do either Emmett or Isla first, whoever's up and ready to go first, and then I'll do the other one. And then Lacey is always the last, and she rounds out my day just because she has so much more. And she typically sleeps a little later because she's a teenager now. So yeah, so a consistent flow. You'll see so much growth by being consistent and sticking with it. It's very easy for me to be kind of like not a consistent person. So that's like a big thing that I've had to grow being a homeschool mom. My second tip is to have some kind of organization for all of your curriculum set up. I've never been the person that's like super organized with slots for everything and labels on everything, but I do have just a simple organization. There's a designated area for all of our school books, and I really force myself to put everything back there when we're finished for the day. It can be too easy to kind of forget about it and get stuck doing something else, and then it all lays around, and then pieces get lost or books get taken into other rooms, and then we're searching for things when it comes to the next school day. So it's important to have a designated spot. It can be super simple. I've used like those Latchmate bins in the past and put all the curriculum in there and had one for each child. Those work really well. For the last couple of years, I've used like the tall like file folder boxes, and I have all the curriculum lined up in there. And it just makes life so much easier when you're not looking for things in the morning. So my third tip is to look ahead at your curriculum for the week, either on Sundays or at least the morning of, like before you actually start lessons with your kid. Don't just open your curriculum and just go, because sometimes there's things that need to be printed. Sometimes there's extra supplies you need for like an activity or something. And if you're in the middle of a lesson and then suddenly come to a part where you need something and then you have to go look for something or prepare something, you're gonna lose the engagement of your kids. The kids are gonna be like waiting around for you, and then they wander, and then it's trying to get them back to the table and back on task, and it's just not worth it. So I definitely make sure to look through in the morning, like anything that I need for that day. Sometimes if I'm feeling like an overachiever that week, I'll do that on Sunday. But typically, if I'm honest, it's usually the morning of. And I use relatively open and go curriculum, so that's not like a really big deal. And looking at it the morning of is adequate for me. And that's just really helped me kind of, stay consistent and not lose my students while I'm trying to find things. Another tip I have is to utilize your library hold system. This has saved me so much time and like stress of trying to go to the library and look for specific books and track them down myself and pull them off the shelves. Going to the library is fun, but it's definitely an event when you're taking all 3 kids to the library. And I do that sometimes just for fun and enjoyment reads we're picking up, or like time to play at the library and that kind of thing. That's fine. But when I specifically need certain books for a curriculum or a lesson, I like to do the hold system. So my library has, and most libraries have, I think, is like an online database where you can search for the book and you can put a hold request on it. And the librarians, those lovely people, will pull all of those holds for you, and you can just go and pick them all up at once. It saves me so much time. It's like grocery pickup for the homeschooler. Like I said, saved me so much time. And I'm also better prepared because my brain is like ping pong balls all the time. And so trying to remember, I have to go to the library and get all these books, it's so much easier to do when I know that they're all ready for me and I get notifications telling me that they're ready. I can just go there, pick them up real quick, and come home, and then I have them and I'm ready to go for the week. And it's so much easier. So definitely see if your library has a hold system, because it's such a time saver. The last tip that I have for you is to look into science experiment kits. Now, not every science curriculum or company out there is going to have a specified science experiment like box or kit, but a lot of them do. And we are actually using Apologia's Earth Science this year, and I found a company, I think it's called Nature's Workshop. They create boxes, science kit boxes for every curriculum from Apologia, and probably others. I'm not sure on that, but you could look. And it has been like the best thing that I purchased for this school year. I've never bought one before, but it's life-changing because all of my supplies, except for the few like perishable things, are included. And when you're a disorganized person and you have a bunch of science activities and experiments that you have to get supplies for, sometimes those experiments don't get done because we don't have all of the supplies needed when it comes down to it. Having them in that box, knowing I have them, has kept us on track with all of our science experiments. So those are all of the tips that I have for you today as a more disorganized, spacey homeschool mom. I hope that you found this video helpful. I'm sure I can come up with some more tips. If you're interested in a part 2, let me know. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.